What makes millennials buy? Everyone's frustrated with millennials these days. Older generations, employers, the news, other millennials, but no one's more frustrated than marketers. Millennials spend money in a way that's completely different than anything we've seen before. The millennial market is growing rapidly, and marketers know they're leaving money on the table. As more and more millennials increase their spending power, the question becomes more important. How do we get millennials to buy? In theory, this seems easy. An entire generation of people glued to their phones all day long. How hard can it be to get product in front of them? Create a nice picture, throw up an ad, and watch the money roll in. Except anyone who's ever tried selling to millennials knows it's not that simple. Millennials are a different breed of buyer. They're naturally skeptical of advertising if they notice it at all. For a generation raised on the internet, banner blindness is a natural part of their evolution. Ads are part of the wallpaper, something to quickly scroll past without a second thought. Unless you activate one of 3 powerful triggers. These 3 triggers are pretty much the only things that get millennials to stop what they're doing and pay attention to you. And once you get their attention, you can get their money. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to market to millennials in a way that stops them in their tracks, forces them to pay attention, and gives them virtually no choice but to buy. Hi, I'm Adam, COO of Ready Set Studios. Today, I'm talking to you about millennials, how they buy, why they buy, and what you need to do to get them to buy. But in order to figure out what millennials are doing now, we need to take a trip back in time. We're going to talk about the Spice Girls, Michael Jordan, and Crocs. 3 things that have absolutely nothing to do with millennials. We'll also talk about watches, music festivals, and ice cream. 3 things millennials love. And by the time we're done, you'll have a complete understanding of how to get this new generation of customers begging you to take their money. You'll discover how to take advantage of their compulsive need to fit in, their desire to get like-worthy pics at all costs, and their obsession with FOMO. In just a couple of minutes, I'll explain what FOMO is and why it's the secret to getting millennials to buy. After watching this video, you'll be armed with a plan to get your products in the hands of an army of millennials. Once that happens, you'll be struggling to keep stock. But first, let me introduce myself a bit more. My name's Adam Elbendary, and I'm the COO of Ready Set Studios. In 2014, millennials officially outnumbered the baby boomer population for the first time, and just kept growing. They now make up more than 20% of the American population. Millennials are loud, confusing, and drive marketers crazy. At Ready Set Studios, we help product companies bridge the gap by speaking to millennials in a language they understand. We built Ready Set Studios on a foundation of helping companies crack the millennial market, opening up a whole new revenue stream. And because of the unique nature of millennials, once you tap into this market, the flood of new customers only continues to grow. I'll talk more about why that is in a bit. Before that, we need to answer one big question. Is celebrity marketing dead? Let's take a look. The 80s and 90s were the golden age of celebrity endorsements. Slap a celebrity's face on packaging or feature them in a commercial, and you were virtually guaranteed to make money. Want proof? In 1997, Pepsi's marketing campaign featuring the Spice Girls led to a 2% increase in global market share. Now, 2% doesn't sound all that exciting, but consider this. The global soft drink market is worth hundreds of billions of dollars. That means a 2% increase in global market share is still worth billions of dollars. And that's 1997 dollars. But it wasn't just the Spice Girls and Pepsi. Market researchers determined that over the course of Michael Jordan's career, his endorsements directly led to about $10 billion in additional revenue for his sponsors. Imagine, one athlete, based on what he eats, drinks, drives, and wears, adds $10 billion to the economy. Talk about influence. The 90s would have been a good time to be a marketer, huh? But wait. Let's flip over to this century and take a deeper look. In 2003, Chanel was a struggling brand. They didn't have the same prestige that was once defined by the name Coco Chanel. And their signature No. 5 perfume was going out of style. Instead of letting the tide turn against them, the brand signed an endorsement deal with one of the biggest stars at the time, Nicole Kidman. Global sales skyrocketed. Almost overnight, Chanel saw a 30% increase in the sale of their perfume worldwide. Now, that's all well and good, but what about this year, or even this decade? Some marketing gurus will tell you celebrity influence is dead. Which begs the question, is it possible to still see astronomical results from celebrity endorsements? Well, let's take a look at one of the more controversial celebrities of the past few years, Colin Kaepernick. Politics aside, Kaepernick's actions thrust him into national and international conversations. Some people saw a hero, some people saw a villain, but one company saw an opportunity. Nike saw the reaction to athletes kneeling during the anthem. They saw the chance to capitalize on a divisive issue, so they did. Nike's repurposed Just Do It campaign featuring Kaepernick made headlines globally, and not just in think pieces and outrage columns. In the wake of the Kaepernick campaign, Nike's sales surged 31%. Masterfully riding the wave of controversy, share prices rose by 5%. To put that in perspective, a 5% increase in share prices translated to about a $6 billion increase in Nike's overall value. $6 billion with one beautiful piece of marketing. The general numbers back this up too. 85% of people say celebrity endorsements increase their preference for and confidence in a product. 15% say endorsements have a definitive effect on their decision to buy. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Nike's a big company. It's already a global brand. That sales spike came from all demographics. You want to know about millennials specifically. So let's talk about millennials. At Ready Set Studios, we embrace 3 persuasion triggers that get millennials to stop, take notice, and buy. When we did, it changed the game for us and our clients. It helped us figure out exactly how to create desire in a consumer market that's both growing and spending more every single day. And once we figured how to create desire, getting sales was easy. So what are these 3 triggers? The first is influence. Millennials are actually more impressionable than other generations, but with one key caveat. The second is lifestyle design. It's not about the product, it's about the lifestyle. And last but not least, FOMO. Fear of missing out may be the most powerful trigger when it comes to selling to millennials. Let's break these down one at a time. Trigger 1, influence. First off, let's get a huge myth out of the way. Millennials, like most consumers, are sheep. They like to think they're special, but that's a delusion. Millennials are more impressionable than any other generation. They just don't realize it. That unique style they're rocking, they saw it on Instagram, and so did a million other people wearing the exact same thing. Millennials might have walls built up to resist the influence of ads, but they're not resistant to influence in general, and that's where the opportunity lies. Millennials still fall into the trap of following celebrities' leads, but how we define celebrities has to change. General celebrities don't have nearly as much of an effect on millennials as they do on other groups. In their heyday, mega celebrities like Madonna and Michael Jackson could cut a path of influence across multiple demographics. That won't work here. First off, it's expensive, and second, it's ineffective. Millennials don't just want celebrities, they want their celebrities. They want celebrities they feel have a personal connection to. For example, let's look at rapper-singer Post Malone. Post Malone might be considered a mainstream artist, but his music and following are quite niche. He's got far more haters than fans. But the people who like him really like him. The proof? Post Malone's influence opened up the millennial market to a brand that used to be considered a joke. Crocs and their widely recognized rubber slippers have long been a punchline, especially among millennials, who associate Crocs with either old people or kitchen staff. They've never been considered stylish, and most millennials will only wear them to be ironic. That all changed when Post Malone made it public knowledge he always travels with Crocs. He passionately broadcasts his need to always have a pair with him at home and on tour. Suddenly, all his fans had to have Crocs. The company noticed a spike in this new demographic and pounced. Crocs paired up with him to design a limited run of licensed Post Malone slippers. They sold out in 10 minutes. That inspired them to release a second Post Malone design, which also sold out in 10 minutes. Imagine, one person says one good thing about your product, an entire new market, which previously wouldn't be caught dead with it, can't buy your stock fast enough. And millennials think they're not impressionable. Now, that's all well and good for big companies with huge money to spend, but what about the rest of us? The small and medium-sized businesses just trying to claim a small piece of market share? Well, my friend, allow me to introduce to you niche influencers. What's a niche influencer? Kind of like a mini celebrity who has their own sphere of influence in a particular niche. They've carved out a name for themselves as an expert in a certain area and have a dedicated following of 10,000 to 100,000 people. Not a huge following, but an insanely loyal one. A loyal following that clings to their every recommendation like it's the word of God. And where do these people hang out? Instagram, of course. Fashion bloggers, makeup artists, amateur chefs, globe-trotting entrepreneurs, and more make Instagram their playground for influence and adoration. It's where they build a tribe, interact with them, and show off what's new and cool in their lives. So if you want to sell to millennials, step one is to assemble an army of niche influencers to give your product massive recognition. Like the product beauty brand Glossier. Glossier started as a beauty blog with no big name endorsements. Instead, they turned to their community of loyal readers to act as influencers for the brand. By turning their biggest fans into vocal advocates, Glossier transformed from a simple blog to one of the fastest growing beauty brands in the world. In just 4 years, Glossier went from $0 in sales to over $100 million. That rapid success led to an investment of $52 million in 2018. With that cash injection, the brand plans to carve out a bigger slice of the $532 billion global beauty market. $0 to $100 million in 4 years. Minimal budget, maximum exposure. That's the power of niche influencers. And at the end of this video, I'll show you how to quickly and easily get these influencers together to make your product go viral. Trigger 2, lifestyle design. But it's not simply about having a great product. It's about creating a lifestyle. See, this is where most marketers fall short. They focus heavily on the product, the features and benefits, but they don't create a lifestyle around that product. Most millennials want a dream lifestyle they can show off on social media to make their friends, families, and followers jealous. If you want to sell to the millennials, selling the lifestyle is non-negotiable, especially on a visual platform like Instagram. If you want to be sure all your pictures are consistently selling not just your product, but a jealousy-inspiring lifestyle, here's what you ask yourself. Does this picture feature my product in a way that makes people want to jump in? Product pictures alone just don't cut it. Nobody cares what your product does, unless it helps them upgrade to an awe-inspiring lifestyle. A perfect example of this is Movement watches. Movement became the fastest growing watch brand in the world, going from $0 to $90 million in 5 years. And they sell almost entirely to millennials, a generation of people who consistently have a clock in their pocket, are wearing wristwatches. And not just a few hipsters trying to be ironic. Almost $90 million of millennial money has been spent on Movement watches. How? By pairing with niche influencers to sell the lifestyle instead of the product. By carefully selecting niche influencers, Movement reached 3.5 million highly targeted prospects. Now, that's not a huge audience, but it was the perfect one. Movement specifically chose influencers whose audience matched up with the people they wanted to sell to. The results speak for themselves. $0 to $90 million in 5 years is no small feat. Movement understood how to sell to millennials with niche influencers. They understood what to sell to millennials, the lifestyle instead of the product. And they parlayed that understanding into a brand that'll be worth over $100 million by the end of this year. But it wasn't just Movement that understood the importance of creating a lifestyle. The team behind the ill-fated Fyre Festival knew it as well. In fact, they mastered it. Fyre Festival was supposed to be the greatest musical festival ever. Private plane, private island, private villas. Instead, it was a huge flop and a PR nightmare. Millions of dollars wasted, criminal charges, and destroyed reputations. But before all that, it's important to look at what they did right. To promote Fyre Festival, the team flew dozens of high-profile influencers to a private island in the Bahamas a few months earlier. After a week of parties, pictures, and posts, Fyre Festival became the event of the year, selling out almost exclusively through influencer marketing. If you were the type of person who enjoyed parties, beaches, and models, you had to be at Fyre Festival. Almost as if you didn't have a choice. To quote marketing legend Seth Godin, people like us do things like this. Fyre Festival buyers felt like they had to be at the event because it was part of their lifestyle. High-earning, fun-loving young people with an image to keep up. It was the perfect trap. Trigger 3, FOMO. Both Fyre Festival and Movement knew that influencers and lifestyle design alone aren't enough. They knew in order to really push millennials over the fence, they had to fan the FOMO. FOMO stands for fear of missing out, and if one term summarizes millennials in a nutshell, it's this one. Millennials are trapped in a world where every decision is the wrong one. Because they have so many great options at their fingertips, millennials are perpetually trapped between them all. As a result, they hop from style to style, experience to experience, trying everything to avoid missing out on anything. In theory, this is a good thing. If millennials are willing to try everything, just put your product in front of them and they'll bite, right? Well, not exactly. Because millennials are so distracted, you must feed their FOMO. Millennials may have a compulsive need to try a bunch of things while committing to few, but they still need a reason to try. And in this day and age, right place at the right time isn't good enough. It's more important than ever to give millennials a deep sense of anxiety if they even consider missing out on what you have to offer. To make that happen, embracing influencers and creating a lifestyle around your product is a must. But if you really want your marketing campaigns to take off, you need to take the FOMO to another level. How? By bringing it back to childhood. The phrase, "but everyone else is doing it," sums up FOMO perfectly. If you can make it look like everyone else is getting in on the action, your prospect feels like they have to as well. Movement orchestrated this with military precision. By combining their influencer campaign with the hashtag #JoinTheMovement, they maximize the impact made by a small group of influencers. First, the influencers used the hashtag in their posts promoting Movement watches. Then, the people who bought because of the influencers felt the need to get in on the fun. Soon, hundreds of Movement customers were given the brand free marketing by posting their own pictures with the watches and the #JoinTheMovement hashtag. And because Movement had crafted a lifestyle around the product, all these customer pictures embodied the brand's lifestyle image perfectly. Movement had people scrambling to buy their product just so they could promote it. Talk about genius marketing. As a result, Movement's popularity continued to grow. The FOMO increased, and sales kept on trending upward. The #JoinTheMovement hashtag currently has around 150,000 posts, and that number shows no signs of slowing down. Like Movement, Fire Festival also understood that virality is engineered. It starts with feeding FOMO, and as you fan the flames, others will join in. Fire launched many viral influencer campaigns to promote the festival. The most famous I already talked about, with the models on the private island. But the other notorious campaigns just involved orange squares. The Fire team got an army of niche influencers to post an innocent-looking orange square with the hashtag Fire Festival on the same day at the same time. They essentially staged a hostile takeover of millennial social media feeds. For a whole day, Fire's target market couldn't get away from orange squares and the Fire Festival hashtag. Getting bombarded that many times in a single 24-hour period had a powerful effect on buying decisions. If so many other people are going, I need to go as well. That's FOMO in a nutshell. People like us do things like this. At the end of this video, you'll have the chance to engineer your own viral influencer campaign to quickly and profitably grow your brand and sales. So to recap, selling to millennials requires brands to face 3 key realities. 1. Millennials are actually more impressionable than other generations, but only if they feel a personal connection to the influencer. 2. If it's not about the product, it's about the lifestyle. Brands need to sell the lifestyle around their product, and every appearance of their product should make prospects want to jump in. 3. FOMO. It's essential for brands to create an experience that the prospect just can't miss out on. At Ready Set Studios, we've combined the old school and new school models of Nike and Movement to create something unique and highly effective. Our clients trust us to partner with niche influencers on behalf of their brands. The household names like Post Malone and Colin Kaepernick, and the smaller influencers who are celebrities in their own little slice of the internet. Our campaigns pack a 1-2 punch of widespread awareness and targeted impact. Big celebrities make the name known, smaller influencers make it desirable. Millennials want both, the popularity factor of a big name and the trustworthiness of someone they feel a personal connection with. So we give it to them. Take our best client, Night Food, for example. Night Food was a challenge because their offering is so unique. A healthier ice cream you can eat right before bed. The recipe is cleaner than most, not filled with all the artificial crap that makes you feel heavy and makes it hard to sleep. When we started working with Night Food, they were almost entirely an e-commerce company. Stimulating demand for this product wasn't going to be easy. Convincing someone to order ice cream online and switch from their favorite flavor of Ben & Jerry's is a hard sell. But we know once customers did it the first time, they'd be buyers for life. So we pulled out all the stops. A widespread campaign of micro-influencers amplified by big-name celebrity endorsements. Bobby Portis of the Washington Wizards, Tyler Eifert of the Cincinnati Bengals, Angela Stanford, U.S. Women's Open runner-up, and many more major league athletes. And we didn't have to pay an arm and a leg to get them. The great thing about working with high-profile athletes and other megastars is once one picks up your product, the other dominoes start to fall. Even celebrities fall victim to FOMO. Remember, people like us do things like this. The results? Night Food was featured in multiple publications, including Business Insider, Barron's, Yahoo Finance, and MarketWatch. Ready Set Studios was also featured, as we arranged all these celebrity deals, all of whom are still on our active roster. Our campaign reached 3.5 million unique prospects. Cost per click, cost per lead, and cost per sale went down across the board. Our campaign helped Night Food win Best New Ice Cream at the Product of the Year Awards, a consumer award show voted on by 40,000 consumers. In 3 months' time, Night Food secured distribution across the Eastern Seaboard and had to schedule 4 production runs. They literally couldn't keep stock. Night Food is now growing so fast, they may very well have national distribution by the end of Q3 2019. Night Food was so thrilled with the results of our campaign, they quadrupled it. We went from signing up 50 new influencers a month to 50 a week. The results speak for themselves, and Night Food is capitalizing. At this point, we've talked a lot about influencer marketing. We've talked about celebrities and branding. We've talked about successful case studies like Crocs, Movement, Glossier, and Night Food. Now let's talk about you. You're still here because you also see the power of influencer marketing. It means you understand how influencer marketing, when done right, can quickly increase brand awareness and bolster your bottom line. It means you understand how much money is just sitting in the millennial market, waiting to be spent. It also means you're in a position to act on this ever-growing demographic. And that's where we can help. If you'd like to know more about how Ready Set Studios can help you crack the millennial market, click the button below this video to schedule a call with one of our team members. They'll make sure we're a good fit to work together and guide you through all your options. Ready Set Studios is a full-service influencer marketing agency. We take care of the entire campaign on your behalf. Our process works in 4 simple steps. Step 1. Identify the best product in your collection for an influencer marketing campaign. Step 2. Identify the lifestyle we'll build around that product to make it irresistible. Step 3. Identify the best influencers to portray that lifestyle. We already have a huge roster of influencers we've worked with in the past. All of these influencers are vetted to ensure their followings are almost entirely real and organic. Very few are 100%, but all of these come close. We don't work with influencers who buy followers, and we have ways of making sure each influencer's following is actively engaged with them. We start with our active roster of reliable influencers and expand from there. If there are any particular influencers you want to work with, we reach out on your behalf and make the arrangements. Step 4. Work with you and the influencers to ensure their posts reflect your brand while also giving them enough creative freedom to help fan the FOMO. It's that simple. And the best part is, we're built for scale. After growing Night Food's campaign, first from 0 to 50 influencers a month, then to 50 influencers a week, we realized just how powerful systems are. Unfortunately, there wasn't one for what we do, so we built one. This system allows us to locate, contact, vet, and onboard the best influencers as efficiently as possible. We're able to pass the cost savings on to our clients, and the time saved allows campaigns to launch and scale faster. It's a win for everybody. So if you're ready to crack the millennial market, just click the button below to schedule a call with us. Whether you're a brand like Crocs, looking to enter a new demographic, or you're like Movement, built for millennials, we can help you take your marketing and sales to the next level. At Ready Set Studios, we've perfected the art of selling to millennials. We've combined niche influencers, lifestyle design, and FOMO to craft powerful campaigns targeted to our clients' ideal customers. Our campaigns are effective because we've internalized the 3 triggers that get millennials to stop, pay attention, and buy. If you've been struggling to crack the millennial market, or you just want a larger piece of the pie, Ready Set Studios can help. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this, and I can't wait to meet you. Just click the button below to schedule a call.